Right. Hello everyone and welcome back to Family Life Builders TV, where we are rebuilding lives and transforming society. Today I want to welcome every one of us, all those who will be joining me for the first time and those who have always been coming. I want to say a big thank you. So those who will be watching the replay, I also want to say a big thank you for joining. Today I decided to talk about this because it's something that needs to be addressed, especially for the younger people. Of course, we are all young, but for the younger people, it will be more beneficial to them. And that is the question: why did I get married? I want to tell you quickly that the full video will be available on YouTube next week, Thursday, by the grace of God. So I'm just going to give us highlights of what this is about and what we should actually look into. You see, in our society today, I just pray that the Lord will open our spirit of understanding to what I want to say, but I will be doing more of coaching. Today, people use divorce as an escape from marital challenges. It doesn't matter whether you understand your why or you don't understand your why, there will always be something that will come up in a relationship. But as you grow older in the relationship, you know more of each other, you grow up maturely in all ramifications. That makes things more easier, and then you are going to be reducing all the quarreling, misunderstanding, and the rest of it. Now, why did I get married? Let me quickly talk about divorce. The rate at which people are getting a divorce is really alarming. The rate at which things go wrong, especially during this COVID-19, is really alarming. Statistics shows that about 50% of every marriages in America will end in divorce. Of course, in other parts of the world, the statistic of divorce is also increasing. Now, about 73% of those who remarry the third time will also end in divorce. You see? So it's not a function of you running away from your relationship. It's a function of when you run away from your relationship, where did you run to? What did you do in those periods? And that's why I always see to, single moms, people that want to remarry, or people that have not even married at all, because every of this decision have a lot to do with the future of our children. And I tell people there's something we call genogram. I also wrote about it in my book, Goodbye Domestic Violence. Please try and get the book. It's still on Amazon. You see, genogram gives you the clear picture and representation of what has been going on in your lineage. And it really helps you to trace things so that you can see what was wrong and make up your mind or make a choice whether you want to create history or you want to change history. So you are making history when you decide to go for a divorce. And what you do after the divorce also will create parts of the history that you are making. Now, after the divorce does not only affect you, it affects your children, it affects your health, it affects your finances, it affects your peace, it affects extended family members, it affects virtually every areas of your life. Because whether you like it or yes, there's always a bond between you and the person you marry. So when you are breaking the bond, and the bond is not broken with joy, because definitely nobody goes for a divorce for no reason. Well, Even when people tell you that they don't have a reason, they also still have a reason for going for the divorce. So it is essential for everyone to actually know our why, so that we don't keep producing results, we don't keep affecting the children, we don't keep affecting the next generation. Now, why did I get married? People get married for different reasons, and I'm going to be listing some of the reasons why people get married. But before I talk about the reason itself, because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you one big question and answer that if you are able to answer that question, you are going to have your marriage for the rest of your life by the grace of God. But let us talk about the reason, the wrong reason why people get married. The number one wrong reason why people get married is culture. So at a certain age, you are expected to be married. You are expected to leave your parents' house. I remember, at the point, I was always with the bridal train. I'm either the chief bridesmaid, I'm either the, I'm always there when people are getting married. And at the point, someone, in one of the weddings, someone mentioned something in that line. So it looks like, when are you going to get married? What are you still doing, among the bridal train? So we have what the culture says, at a certain age, a man or a woman should be married. Now, the next one is the societal pressure. That most of us on social media, you will see that you are always checking your friend status. You're always, watching YouTube. You're always seeing how your friends have gotten married, how they are doing well with their family, with everything. And you're like, oh, what is happening to me? Why is my own different? Why am I different? Why are things not working for me? So you put a pressure on you. The society, the social media put a pressure on you, or you accept the pressure that the society put on you, and you want to get married. Another thing is people marry for benefits. There are some positions in organization where they tell you this position belongs to those who are married alone, because sometimes it is expected that people that are married are more responsible, especially when it comes to financial obligations. So people believe that when you are married, you'll be able to, handle some positions properly. You'll be more accountable. So people get married for something like that. Another benefit is because of the tax return. Like in the US, people do, when you do your tax together, you tend to have more when you do your tax together. Sometimes people also marry because of insurance. People also marry because of insurance, so that the health insurance and all that. So people marry for benefits sake. And then another wrong reason is people want to marry a rich man. Like I always ask people, so if you want to marry a rich man, what do you have to offer? Why can't you make yourself also a rich woman? People don't marry because this person is rich. Because he's rich today. What if he's not rich tomorrow? What will happen? What if, because money grow wings and they fly away. So what if you marry him or her today and something happens to their source of income, and they are unable to serve you the way you expect? So that's a very wrong reason. Of course, that's why you see quite a number of women, quite a number of men who at the end of the day, once the man is no more the happening guy, the happening woman, then they leave, because in the first place it's the motive is to marry a rich man. And then the next one is for immigration purposes. People marry for immigration purposes. People want to have their papers, they want to regularize their stay, so they are forced to get married, which I will say 100% it's not right. But morally, people have things that are right, people have things that are wrong. But for a married person, for a single person who married for immigration purpose, if anything happens to you, if anything happens to the man, for example, I was working on a project and I was studying the domestic violence among the immigrants. You see, we found out that about 53% of those people are abused because of their immigration status. And you know what? The partners were threatening them, you know, that they will report to the immigration, to the Homeland Security, that these people actually got married to them because they want to have papers. Let me quickly say this: if you are out there and you are watching me, or you know somebody who is experiencing domestic violence as a result of their immigration status, please, I need you to contact the, you have to call the hotline, the domestic violence hotline. Call them and explain this to them. Nobody will deport you because you are experiencing domestic violence. There's a particular kind of visa that could be given to anyone who is experiencing domestic violence, sex trafficking, anybody that is abused, anybody that is being used. There's a certain visa, there's a certain kind of visa for such a person. So if you are, and you can't lie about it, because they will definitely know, they will trace it and they will find out. But if you are genuinely experiencing domestic violence, and you know someone who is experiencing domestic violence, there's a need for you to contact the domestic violence hotline. The next one is people marry for another wrong thing. They marry because they are tired of being single. You know, people are just they just feel they are lonely, and they feel when they get married, the loneliness will disappear. The truth is, if you don't learn how to love yourself, play with yourself, it's going to be difficult for you to be able to play with another person. So that makes things very difficult if at the end of the day the expectation is not met in the relationship. There's going to be trouble. So that's another wrong reason. Number 8 is number 9 is pressure for sex. Getting married will not solve your problem for sex, because we find out that people that are single have sex more than those who are married. So when you have the full dose and you are tired, because it's a wrong reason in the first place, you are still going to face that music, and you are still going to have to deal with it. The next one is people want an elaborate wedding. They have this dream wedding. So if you ask people, why do you want to get married? It's because I want to have this elaborate wedding. I want the tail of my wedding gown to be about 50 kilometers away. So those are wrong reasons. And the number 12 is people want a baby. So I want a baby. So once you get the baby, what happened after that time? Because there is more to marriage than having a baby alone. Now, another wrong reason, which is the last but not the least on my list, is you need someone to boost your ego. You know, you feel you need it. You know, it is seen like when you have a man in your life, you are actually I'm sorry, you might be hearing some noise. That's they are mowing the lawn. So that's what happened at the end of the day. People, if at the end of the day that man loses his position, maybe he's the chairman of a local government and you are the first lady, and then he lost the position or something happens, your ego is damaged, and what do you do? Now, another All right. Okay. All right. So now, the truth is, at the end of the day, when you look at all these things, people who want things like this, if at the end of the day they don't get it, they want to end the marriage. Now, when you end the marriage, I've not seen people that are divorced and they are not bitter. I've met quite a number of people who are divorced, and when you really look at them critically, quite a number of them are still bitter. And you know, when you look at some of the things that many of them say, you want to ask a question: how, you know, their partner, or how they cope with the partner, or how their partner have been able to cope with them. I was there, but I like to say that when you have those reasons and those reasons are not met, and you want to use the divorce as an escape from the marriage or the relationship, if you still don't take care of those things that makes you go away from the marriage, then you are still going to live with it for the rest of your life. And that's why we see that there is hurt everywhere, in every places. People are hungry, people are hurt, people are unhappy with their life. And when people are miserable, you know, miserable people will make other people miserable. It is just very normal, you know. Miserable people make other people miserable, and that is what life is actually about. So life, that is not what life is about. Life is about joy. Life is about peace. Life is about giving. Life is about love. Now, the reasons, the genuine reasons why you should get married, and that you really need to ask yourself, those reasons are this. Number one, I'm just going to mention maybe 3 or 4 of them. Okay, I'm just going to mention 5, 6. Okay, it's not much. All right, because I want to stop at exactly 12:30. All right, so number one reason why you should get married to this person, the number one reason is he is your best friend, and you are convinced that you can live with him for the rest of your life. That's the number one reason, is that he's your best friend and you can live with him for the rest of your life. If you can do without a woman, if you can do without a man, don't bother to marry him. There is no point. Now, another crucial thing is this: you both have a purpose that you are willing to pursue and help one another achieve those purposes. The next one is that you believe in his or her dream, and you are ready to support their dream and make sure they fulfill those dreams. And number 4 is you understand your own purpose. You understand yourself. You understand what marriage is, and you are ready to share your life with that other person that you understand. If you don't understand your own purpose, it's always difficult for you to understand the purpose of another person. As a matter of fact, you are going to frustrate the other person, because when they pursue their own purpose and you have nothing to do, sincerely, if you are not busy, you pull more trouble in your relationship. And that's why when people are having challenges in their marriage, one of the first questions that they ask is, let him find a job, let her find a job, let everybody get busy in a way and create time to come together and sort out your issues. The next thing is you understand marriage and you are willing to stand whatever comes with it. You are willing to stand whatever comes with a package. Marriage is always a package. So whatever comes with it, you are ready to take it, except domestic violence. I encourage you, no matter what, like when they are looking at the statistics of domestic violence in Nigeria, they said it's about 0.1. I would say that statistics might not really be correct. It might be those who actually report, because when people divorce, it's because they were legally married. So people that are not legally married cannot record their divorce. And I want you to, understand that you have to be willing to live so that you can live to take care of your children. So when you are experiencing domestic violence, don't say because one of my reasons is to stay forever and you stay into, no, you don't stay in domestic violence. You move forward. If it's too much, you separate first. If the person does not change, you end the marriage. You keep praying for them, keep praying for them, keep praying for them. But if it's going to end in your death, why don't you live so that you can live for your children? Number 6 is you love the man or you love the woman and you enjoy their company. You love the man, you love the woman. Now, when you enjoy people's company, it's not because of how they look. It's about what they bring up. It's about their aura. It's about what they talk about. It's about what they do around you. And not only around you, around other people that are in their life. So when you see people behave this way with another person and they behave this way with another person, you want to really sit down and say, do I want to or do I not want to? Am I pleased with this person's attitude? Am I pleased with this person's character? You want to look, that is very, very essential. And the last one I'm going to talk about in a minute, but let me quickly conclude because I want to end this conversation very soon, in a short while. So when you have selfish reason for getting married, it's going to backfire. In every business, people go into business. Even when you go into business without knowing your why, that business will soon collapse. That business will, at the end of the day, you won't get the best of that business because you really don't know your why. And there will always be challenges. So when there's a little challenge, you get upset, you get disturbed, you leave the business. The same thing with the marriage. When you don't know the reason why you are in that marriage, when you don't know the reason why you are in that man's life, at the end of the day, it's always much more easier for you to end the marriage. So there is one question in conclusion that really helped me in my journey, in my marital journey. And I want to dash you that question. I got that question from Pastor Bimbo, and it's really, really helped. Here is the question. That person that you want to marry, after you have decided that, okay, I've seen everything, we have common purpose, I'm ready to live the rest of my life with him, I'm ready to live the rest of my life with her. What's that common thing? What's that thing that he can do that will make me divorce him? What is that thing that that man, that woman will do that will make me divorce him? Now, when you ask yourself that question, you also need to answer that question. And your answer will be this: there is nothing he can do, there is nothing she can do that will make me divorce her. Peradventure, there is something he or she can do that will make you divorce. I sincerely tell you that don't go for the marriage. Don't go for it. Because for real, those things, many things that you feel that you don't expect might happen. And at the end of the day, it does not mean that, you know, every other attribute that you talk about was not there. They are there. It's not all those big issues, those big factors that really crush the marriage. It's those things that we don't pay attention to. Those little foxes, they are the ones. So you want to look deeper and deeper and say, hey, if this person do this to me, this is the worst he can do. This is the worst she can do that will make me say goodbye to this marriage. Now you have to be able to tell yourself that even when he or she do this, I'm going to pardon. I'm going to forgive. But if you cannot, don't go into the relationship. But if you can, I want to tell you that you will be in that marriage for the rest of your life.